For the last few years, we've heard the whispers, we've heard the offhand comments, but after the Japanese Grand Prix, the whispers just turned into a shockwave. Max Verstappen, a four-time world champion in the absolute prime of his career, is seriously considering walking away from Formula One at the end of this season. This isn't a paddock rumor, this isn't clickbait. This came directly from Max himself to the BBC after he climbed out of the car at Suzuka. Today on F1 Unite, we are breaking down exactly what Max said, the hidden contract clauses that make an exit possible, and the massive technical problem that has pushed the most relentless driver of his generation to the breaking point. If you want the real story, make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into it. To understand why Max wants to leave, you have to understand that this isn't just about Red Bull suddenly building a bad car. It is fundamentally about the brand new 2026 regulations. F1 shifted to a massive 50-50 split between internal combustion and electrical power this year. And frankly, Max hates it. After finishing P8 in Japan, he said, and I quote, "When you are in P7 or P8 and you are not enjoying the whole formula behind it, it doesn't feel natural to a racing driver." He has repeatedly called the new cars anti-driving and compared them to Formula E on steroids. Because the batteries require so much harvesting, drivers are constantly managing electrical deployment instead of just pushing the car to the absolute limit. Max is a purist. He wants to drive flat out like a gladiator, and he feels these new regulations have turned F1 into a massive battery management exercise. He flat out said, "It's not about the money anymore, because this has always been my passion. And right now, the passion is gone." Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the contract. Max is signed with Red Bull Racing through 2028, so how does he just leave in 2026? It all comes down to performance clauses. It is an open secret in the paddock that Max has a clause allowing him to terminate his contract early if he is not fighting for the World Championship by the summer break. And look at reality. Red Bull and their new Ford partnership have stumbled hard out of the gate. Max hasn't finished higher than 6th this season and is sitting 9th in the standings, 60 points behind Kimi Antonelli. Red Bull is stuck in the midfield, suffering from massive tyre degradation and energy clipping. Max even admitted he can accept not dominating anymore. He knows you can't win forever, but losing in a car that is frustrating to drive, that is the exact combination that triggers an early retirement. So, if the most talented driver on the grid actually throws in the towel this year, what happens next? Does he just sit on a beach? Absolutely not. Max has been setting up his post-F1 life for years. We know his ultimate goal outside of F1 is endurance racing. He wants to conquer the 24 hours of Le Mans, and he's heavily invested in his own GT3 team. Max has never been the guy who cares about breaking Michael Schumacher or Lewis Hamilton's record of 7 world titles. He got his championships, he proved his point, and he has nothing left to prove to anyone. If F1 doesn't give him the adrenaline rush he craves, he will simply take his talent to the World Endurance Championship, where he can push a car to the absolute edge for 24 hours straight, without having to worry about an arbitrary electrical deployment limit. Which brings us to right now. Because of the unfortunate cancellations of Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, Formula One has an unexpected, massive month-long break before we go racing again in Miami. This is the month of truth. Behind closed doors, the FIA is reportedly holding emergency meetings. Is Max truly ready to walk away? Or is he using the media to put a massive political squeeze on the FIA to change the regulations to save the sport's biggest star? Only time will tell, but the clock is ticking. I want to know what you guys think. Will Max Verstappen be on the grid in 2027, or is this the beginning of the end? Let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you before Miami.